Many people have places in Europe they dream of visiting, or even settling down in. For some, the dream is to blend into the populous societies of Europe's largest countries, while for others, it's to find solace in countries where they can have a steady income and be close to nature. Well, such a place really exists in Europe, and only 5.5 million people live there, being both a member of the European Union and a small, peaceful country. It stands as the ultimate dream for those who want to escape chaotic national agendas. This place is Slovakia, a country with a land area of only 49,000 square kilometers, and boasting some of the most beautiful genetic heritages in Europe. Slovakia's name is often mixed up not only by us, but also by foreigners, as you might have guessed. Slovakia is often confused with its southern neighbor, Slovenia. In fact, people trying to send documents or packages to one of these countries often mistype the country names. The Slovaks themselves don't take kindly to their country being confused with another. For example, if you meet a Slovak person and mistakenly associate them with Slovenia or the Czech Republic, they consider it impolite. This is because Slovaks emphasize their unique national identity. Slovakia is situated right in the heart of Central Europe today, and is a neighbor to many important countries. Some people label Slovakia as an Eastern European country, but let me tell you, Slovak people get really annoyed by this. So, if you have any plans to stay there or in Poland, always refer to these two countries as Central European, because they prefer to see themselves as part of the West and consider themselves as part of Europe. Remember, a similar situation existed in Belarus. Half of the population identified with Russia and Eastern culture, while the other half saw themselves as European and Western. However, Slovaks are luckier than Belarus in a sense, because they are members of the European Union. This means they have the privilege of traveling to any European country they desire, and benefiting from all the advantages that the European Union offers. A person living here automatically gets a Schengen residence permit, which allows them to easily enter and exit neighboring countries like the Czech Republic, Austria, Hungary to the south, or even Poland in the opposite direction. So, if you're considering living in this country, don't worry about its small size. In fact, Slovakia has another advantage. Its capital, Bratislava, is located in the western part of the country, and a significant portion of the population resides there. This means that someone living in Bratislava can enjoy a weekend getaway to Vienna, the capital of Austria, with just a 58-minute car ride or about an hour-long train journey. Trains depart from Bratislava to Vienna every 2 hours. And in this part of Europe, where nature is lush, traveling by train offers a soothing experience. Train travel is highly developed in small European countries. Like Slovakia, people travel between cities and countries by train, without the need for flights. That's why train stations, especially in Bratislava, are always bustling with people. However, if you plan to travel to the country from outside of Europe, the most convenient mode of transportation would be by air. Of course, if you want to avoid being turned away at the airport, you must have a Schengen visa to enter this European Union country. Likewise, Slovakia attracts visitors from other European countries due to its proximity. So, in my opinion, you won't really get bored in Slovakia during the summer months. The streets are truly alive and people here seem happy. However, it's important to note that you won't find a beachy seaside environment in Slovakia, my friends. If one of your goals there is to swim in the sea, the people in Slovakia satisfy this need by going to the Danube River, which passes through Bratislava. This river provides a way for people in settlements near the southern border of Slovakia to cool off in the water. But don't underestimate the river, as it has practically formed a summer tourism sector in Slovakia, attracting a lot of attention. Yet, if you're among those who say they could never live in a country without a sea, then most probably, not just Slovakia, but other Central European countries I could name might not entice you enough. On the flip side, Slovakia's numerous land borders mean that you can encounter diverse cultures in different regions of the country. For instance, as you head to the eastern part of the nation, you'll come across more individuals with Russian, Ukrainian and Polish heritage. Alternatively, if you set out on a journey to the southern parts, the likelihood of encountering people with Hungarian roots is quite significant. However, there's no ethnic discrimination or resulting polarization among the people, regardless of their origins. Those living there proudly identify themselves as Slovakians and are content with their country. Some even regard them as one of Europe's most nationalistic societies. Slovakia's central location in Europe has preserved the authenticity of its historical remnants. When you visit Slovakia, you'll be treated to a wealth of castles and Gothic medieval architecture. In addition to this, due to the relatively sparse population, a significant portion of the country remains covered in untouched forests. The prevalence of forests has led Slovakia to become one of the European countries with the highest populations of wild animals. This country's air is brimming with oxygen, and it's among the last regions in Europe where wolves and bears still roam. Similarly, the city centers exude a captivating old town atmosphere. The buildings aren't towering skyscrapers, rather, Slovakia boasts an abundance of architectural charm similar to other European countries, and in 1993, Slovakia officially declared its independence. In 2004, the country was admitted to the European Union, and today, they use the euro as their currency. The official language of the country is Slovak, but Russian is spoken in the east and Hungarian in the south. The younger population isn't far from English, so socializing while knowing English is quite possible. However, to adapt to signs and official institutions in the country, learning Slovak is a necessity. There's no religious dominance in the country. There are churches, but historical ones are mostly visited for photography purposes. Out of the 5.5 million people there, 3.5 million identify themselves as Christians, while it's assumed that the remaining 2 million are either non-religious or belong to other faiths. To understand the quality of life for people in Slovakia, we can take a look at the minimum wage and salaries in the country. As of 2023, the minimum wage in Slovakia is 700 euros. However, this is earned by those working in jobs like waiters and assistants. In the country, the average salary range varies between 1,300 and 2,000 euros. For example, a teacher can earn 1,400 euros, while an engineer's salary can comfortably exceed 1,500 euros, or a doctor in the country can earn over 2,500 euros. The price of a 2 or 3 bedroom apartment in the country ranges from 600 to 900 euros. Particularly, entrepreneurs, doctors, and engineers worldwide find the idea of living in a serene country, Slovakia, appealing. This is because Slovakia is a veritable powerhouse of automobile manufacturing, being one of the most cost-effective labor markets in Europe. It has attracted giant vehicle companies like Volkswagen, Peugeot, Kia, and Land Rover to establish production plants there. This, in turn, extends an invitation to mechanical and electrical engineers who aspire to work there. For instance, skilled individuals aspiring to live in Europe can choose Slovakia for work. Subsequently, they may choose to get married in Slovakia to make their stay permanent. By establishing strong foundations, this way, they transform their temporary work experiences in the country into a solid permanent life. Looking at the country's gender distribution, there are around 3 million women and over 2 million men. According to this ratio, we can say that more than half of the country is women. Hence, when traveling around Slovakia, you'll see more women than men on the streets and in venues. Furthermore, there are those who claim that the women here are among the most beautiful in Europe. This is attributed to their genetic mixture originating not only from Russia and Hungary, but also from Poland and Austria. As a result, tall individuals with colored eyes and fair skin are a common sight. When you approach unfamiliar people's tables here, they welcome you with smiles and warmth. Therefore, it's quite rare to find arrogance or conceit among Slovak people, and they are open to making acquaintances. Additionally, women in this country tend to live a healthy life up to an average age of 80, while men pass away around the age of 73. While exploring the capital in Slovakia, you'll come across numerous bronze statues. These sculptures are created with a unique perspective and contribute to making the capital more captivating. You won't find much litter on the roads and streets, especially the train tracks and main squares, which appear exceptionally clean. The buildings in the old town are vibrant and adorned with lively shades. In the evenings, you'll encounter plenty of street musicians in this area. It's quite likely to stumble upon street artists playing various instruments at the intersections of narrow alleys between buildings. If you stop to watch them after enjoying their music, they'll anticipate a few euros from you, not leaving a small gratuity for them. Despite listening to their music might be seen as impolite behavior, there's also a soup culture in the country, and they serve it to you in a different type of container that you probably haven't seen before. The vessel in which they place the soup is a kind of dough and can actually be consumed. Slovakians have a special affinity for soups, particularly those made with lentils. This place is one of the most popular soup spots around, and they can add various garnishes to your soup according to your preferences. If you're wondering what else you can do, besides exploring architecture, meeting new people at bars, or enjoying meals while in Slovakia, it's worth noting that the locals are huge ice hockey enthusiasts. Despite being a European nation, Slovaks aren't particularly strong in football or basketball. This lack of satisfaction in these two mainstream sports has driven them to a sport they excel in, but one that's less popular. Today, people in the country have a strong connection to ice hockey, and you might find yourself developing an affinity for this sport during your stay. The country frequently organizes festivals and events related to ice hockey, and is even considered one of the top teams in the World Championships. When watching these matches at venues, they consume copious amounts of drinks. My friends, Slovaks are among the most enthusiastic drinkers in Europe. Slovakia, in general, is a tranquil and welcoming European country where peace prevails at its highest levels. Until the next video, goodbye.